Thank you. All right, well, I thought maybe, I know each and every one of you, and you may or may not know much about me, but I've been in the financial services business. This is my 43rd year. So thankfully, I have learned a few things along the way. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, including some legal things, some tax things, etc., etc. And I want you to know, I am not an attorney. I cannot practice law. And I am not a CPA or an accountant, so I cannot tell you specifically the tax law on things, but in general, we're going to be kind of big picture, but I want to answer any questions that you might have and help you to position yourself to bring rain upon your fields. That's why I picked the name, and David helped me with that, thankfully. But we came up with that title through Hebrews 6:7, and if you have your Bible, it's probably not a New American Standard, so we might read it in a couple of different versions just to get a good groundwork for what we're trying to accomplish here and bring rain on your fields. So, according to my New American Standard Bible, it says, "For ground that drinks the rain which often falls upon it and brings forth vegetation useful to those for whose sake it is also tilled, receives a blessing from God." And that's, in my mind's eye, what tending to your finances brings you. It truly does. And I can say that firsthand because I have not tended to mine well always, but when I finally kind of did what I was preaching, it seemed to just go, wow. Now that's not to say I don't have issues every once in a while, but I am so, I have so much faith and assurance from the Lord that I just don't worry anymore. And that's also, in my mind's eye, bringing rain to your fields. Because if you don't have to worry about things, if you can give it to the Lord, then I think that really is a blessing.
Praise God.
So, what we're going to do here is I want you guys to participate. And so, help me understand what you get out of this. And it might be helpful for somebody else to read their version or two, just so you get a little different perspective. Do you have your Bible there that you can read it, Pastor Rob? Hebrews 6:7.
I've got a few different translations here. New International Version says, "Land that drinks in the rain, often falling on it, and that produces a crop useful to those for whom it is farmed, receives the blessing of God."
There you go. So that makes it a little clearer, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you guys?
To me, it means that if we follow God's will and do our best in everything that we do, you know, that He's going to bless us in His way and we'll never want, you know.
Good definition. Anybody have anything to add to that? All right. Well, in your folders, you've got on the left-hand side, go ahead and open that up and turn it to the second page. And I just want you to understand what we're going to be doing. You know, I think building your financial house is what I'm going to try to help you accomplish. Some of you may have a good foundation already. Maybe some of you have the whole house built, but I bet you can do some tweaking to make your house stronger, more stable. But unfortunately, in our world today, none of us get much of an education in high school nor in college about how to handle finances, do we? It is kind of a try it and fail and learn from your mistakes sort of thing. And so I want to share with you, and since a lot of you have kids and grandkids, maybe you can share some of these basic kinds of things with them. So when we build a financial house, does this look like a good structure to you?
Looks pretty good to me.
It's got a nice wide foundation to hold up your house, doesn't it? Now, of course, the ground and everything from the ground up is God's. He owns it all. And I know all of you know that. But from my perspective, there's really two, I call them piers. What are those when you build something?
Pillars.
Pillars, okay. Piers, pillars. And there's really two of those that go deep into the ground to also fortify your house. Now I want to divert here for a second and just say that most people, and I've seen this happen, most people build their house like this. They don't know any better. They have very little foundation. And what happens? I know each and every one of you has experienced the winds of life. You can call that anything you want, and you've probably been through a lot of winds. Some of them may have only been 20, 30 mile an hour winds, and some of them are tornadoes that are going around all around you. But the winds of life blow. And when the winds of life blow onto your house this way, it's got stability to maintain itself. But when you build your house like this, guess what? What happens when we go through the winds of life normally? Think back on some of those winds that you have encountered in your life. You probably, for whatever reason, needed to get your hand on some money, right? To possibly buy that new water heater that just went out, or buy that new furnace that is no longer working well.